Dear student, good day to you all. So, we are coming to the last session of the quantitative data analysis using SPSS software. So, last three sessions, actually day 1, day 2 and day 3, we discuss about the data entering and the data cleaning and how to save your file. And in the day 2, we discuss about how to do the frequency analysis and check with the pilot test analysis, as well as converting your negative values into positive or positive value in negative ways. So in day 3, actually our last session, we discussed about one of the most important analysis in our quantitative data, that is the measurements of quality or quality of the measurements. In here, we discuss with you regarding how to do the fact analysis in order to identify how factors are loading properly, how your measurement items are loading properly into your desired variable. And then we calculate average variance extraction. So in that way, we again confirm that our factors are getting, our measurement items are getting valid. And based on the discriminant validity analysis using the correlation analysis, we confirm that our variables are valid, right? So then we finally check with the reliability test using a COMBRA value, that means Cambridge alpha value greater than 0.7. We identify that our measurement items are reliable. So these testing ensure that your data set is or your measurement items are valid and reliable in order to test your hypothesis. Okay. Then finally, we discuss about some another assumption in our quantitative data analysis. That is, we need to ensure that our data is normally distributed, or our data is distributed in a normal way. So here we need to check the normality test. So I told you how to do with the normality test, and I gave you several standards in order to make sure that your data is considered to be normal using Shapiro-Wilk test or conglomerative test. You can make sure that whether significant value is greater than 0.05, or you can use the skewness value in between -2 to +2, or as well as curtices between -2 to +2, as well as -7 to +7. So I gave you all the relevant sources in order to make sure that your data, normally your dependent variable is normally distributed, right? So then these are the main primary tested or preliminary tested. You need to be confirmed that your data is ready to test the hypothesis. So based on that, now today we are moving to one of the another important part in your data analysis or in your main research, that is on regression analysis. So in here we are going to make sure that how we are going to test your hypothesis. Now for an example, in our discussion example, we want to make sure that how personality traits influence on environmental citizenship behavior of undergraduate in a selected university. So here we need to find out the effect or influence, right? So here we are going to make sure that whether there are any cause and effect relationship, right? So then in order to make that cause and effect relationship, right? Cause and effect relationship, we have to perform regression analysis, right? So regression analysis normally we are performing in order to make sure that there is a significant influence or significant impact, significant effect in your dependent variable based your independent variables on your dependent variable. So that's the thing we need to make sure with the regression analysis. Right? So the difference between regression analysis and correlation analysis, what we discussed previously regarding discriminant validity, in a correlation analysis, we only check whether the variables are having some kind of association between them. So association does not indicate that we are having cause and effect. ඒක හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න ගොඩාක් undergraduatesලා මේක mislead කරගන්නවා. correlation analysis එකකින් අපිට බෑ cause and effect එකක් මනින්න. Right? Correlation එකකින් අපි බලන්නේ association. ඒ දෙන්න අතර ඒ variable දෙකක් අතර තියෙන සහසම්බන්ධතාවය. Right? සහසම්බන්ධතාවයකින් කොයි වේවත් අදහස් වෙන්නේ effect cause එක හින්දා effect එක සිද්ධ වෙනවා කියලා. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒ ඇතිවීම හේතුවෙන් B කියන ඵලය ඇති වෙනවා කියන එක අපිට කියන්න බෑ. Right? now අපි කතා කරන උදාහරණ ගත්තොත් අපිට කියන්න බෑ environmental citizenship behavior එකට බලපාන්නේ personality traits කියන එක අපිට correlation එකකින් identify කරන්න බෑ. correlation එකෙන් පෙන්නන්නේ environmental citizenship behavior එකයි personality traits අතර තියෙන සහසම්බන්ධතාවය විතරයි. Right? the relationship එකක් සහ සහසම්බන්ධතාවයක් වෙනස් වෙන්නේ relationship එකක් කියන්නේ හැම වෙලෙම එකක් ඇතිවීම මත තව එකක් ඇති වෙනවා කියන එක. So that is the meaning of relationship. Relationship mean one thing is happening first, as a result of that, other things going to be changed. Right? That is the cause and effect. But the association, we don't measure that kind of relationship. We only say there is a strong correlation or association between two variables. Right? So that is a difference. But before we are make sure that whether we are going with the regression analysis, we can perform correlation analysis to ensure that whether our variables are having significant association among them. That's why we are checking in our discriminant validity in day 3 session. අපි day 3 එකේ කතා කරේ discriminant validity එක check කරද්දී අපි correlation එක බලුවානේ. ඒ කරන්නේත් ඒකම තමයි. Right? We are checking whether the variables are highly associated with each other. Okay, so that's the main thing we are going to check. Right? We will do the correlation analysis in this case also, and we are going with the regression analysis. Right? So then today, next one, we are going to make sure that we are going to guide you how to do the mean differences analysis using one sample t-test, independent sample t-test, paired sample, and one-way ANOVA. Here, my special focus is given to parametric test because we normally assuming that your data is going to be normally distributed. So we are using parametric test, but I will show you how to do the non-parametric test also. Then finally, as the another important concept, we discuss with you regarding how to do the mediating and moderating effect analysis. Now you know what is the difference between mediating and moderating variables. Now, if your conceptual framework includes moderating or mediating variable, that last discussion is more valuable to you. Okay, so without wasting so much of time, we will go back to the main analysis using our example data set. Now you can see the one of the example data set. Actually, this is the data set that I collected based on our discussing example, that is the personality traits and environmental citizenship behavior. So you can identify there are some kind of sample profile data. As you remember our sample questionnaire, those informations are available in here. Right? ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මතක නම් අපි කතා කරපු අර මේ questionnaire එක sample questionnaire එක මේ information ඒකේ තිබ්බා. So I collected information from these undergraduates in the University of Sri Jayawardenepura, and this is my data set. So my data set include 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 independent variables. Those are representing Big 5 personality trait model. And my dependent variable is environmental citizenship behavior. As I show you in our example, I have several measurement items for each independent variable, which incorporate in my conceptual framework. Right? For an example, extraversion, I have 4 measurement items, agreeableness again 4, and consciousness 6 items, and neuroticism, I have 7 items, openness, I have 7 items, and environmental citizenship behavior, I have 11 items. Likewise, I make that data set according to my given questionnaire. Right? So based on that, with the data collection, I collected, I believe there are more than 500 students. Let me go back there. Yes. There are 584 responses I received for my study. right? So I normally discuss with my student based on the whatever the actual study I have been performed, right? Man karapu studies තමයි මම ගොඩක් වෙලා ළමයි එක්ක share කරන්නේ. So then you can get the inspiration based on that lecturer also doing the research. Then you also have responsibility to do it in a proper way. Okay, right. So this is the data set. Okay, so then our first I check the data. That means I clean the data with the free of the typo errors as well as missing values. Right, that is our first session, and pilot test is already finished when I come into the main data collection, right? And the fact analysis also I perform, right? I perform fact analysis with the day 3 session I discussed with you. Now I'm not wasting my time to do it again in this data set, and you can see at the end these are my factors based on the final fact analysis result. ඔයගොල්ලෝ මතක ඇති අපි එක්සැම්පල් එකේ කතා කරා ෆැක්ට් ඇනලිසිස් එකෙන් මට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා මගේ වේරියබල් පහ සමහර items අයින් වුණා සමහර items remove කරන්න සිද්ධ වුණා, right? Then finally I ended up with this variables summation, right? මේ තියෙන්නේ මගේ දැන් variables 6, right? So then I don't need all this information again. මේ ටික මට අවශ්‍ය නැහැ, right? So I have 5 independent variable with 1 dependent variable, right? So as I discussed with you in our presentation, first of all, let's look at the correlation. අපි ඉස්සෙල්ලම correlation එක බලමු. Okay, right. I'll go back to the analysis data set again, right? Now you can see, now I'm going with the correlation analysis. I want to make sure that since I have already do it in our discriminant validity, මම ඔක discriminant validity එකේදී කරලා තියෙන්නේ. හැබැයි for make sure that you will get the understanding again what is this correlation analysis, so I will do it again, right? So here you need to go with the analyze, okay, then correlation and bivariate, right? Analyze, correlation, bivariate. Okay, so then you can click it, and then you can select your independent and dependent variables, right here, and select all the 5, right? If you need to get the mean and standard deviation value, here you can say tick the option and click the means and standard deviation value. Okay, then click continue and press OK. So you will go back to the output data, your output window. Now you can see, right? So here mean value we are not calculating in proper way because we are taking that fact analysis value, right? So I will let you know how to calculate mean value again using the given values in your case. Okay, right? I will come back to that later. So here we will get the understanding about the correlation analysis. දැන් මෙතන අර ඔයගොල්ලන්ට mean value එක පෙන්නන්නේ නැහැ පුතාලා. මොකද අපි ගත්තේ අර fact analysis එකෙන් ආපු factors ටිකනේ. ඒ fact analysis එකේ load වෙච්ච විදිය තමයි අපි ගත්තේ. ඒතකොට ඔයගොල්ලෝ data set එක නැවත බැලුවොත් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට පෙනෙයි. Right? ඔයගොල්ලෝ data set එක බැලුවොත් පේනවා. Sorry. Right? So there are minus and negative values also appeared. Right? Minus negative values තියෙනවා. Right? Therefore, it is difficult to calculate mean value in this sense. So, but anyway, I will show you how to calculate the mean values using the absolute values. Right? So go back to our output. Right? Here, this is the way we can see the output. I told you this is a matrix. Right? මම කිව්වා මේක matrix එකක්. So therefore, you can ignore this part from this your right hand side value. Right? We can consider only this part. Right? අපිට මේ පැත්ත උන්නම් අමතක කළාම දාන්න පුළුවන් because this is a matrix. Right? So we can go to this section only. Right? මේකේ ඉඳලා වම් අත පැත්තේ තියෙන ටික ඔයගොල්ලන්ට බලන්න පුළුවන්. Right? So it indicates that the sig values as well as the number of cases you are having, right? And this is the Pearson correlation coefficient value. This indicates how much of the association strong in between two variables. Right? Now for an example, the first one it says the association between environmental citizenship behavior and the first independent variable, agribusiness, I think, I'm not sure, neuroticism, right? NEV neuroticism. So it indicates that the ECB and neuroticism have correlation with 0.336, right? And it is also significant. How we call it is significant? Because the p-value, right? Because the p-value, or we call sig value, is less than 0.05. Then we can include that there is a significant association or correlation between ECB and NE. Right, we can say that, right? Then the correlation value is, we can say 0.336. That is, we call correlation coefficient. Right, that is called correlation coefficient. Okay, so likewise, you can see these differences. Here also you can see openness to experience also having statistically significant correlation. Right, and also here we can see there is a association between agreeableness, so extraversion with ECB, and what else? So all the star marks, you can see these 2 star marks appeared, right? So that star marks indicate that your correlation is significant at the confidence interval level of 99%, right? It is confidence interval of 99%. Because it is 0.01. If I make it clear all, I think you can see, right? So this is 2 star marks indicate that your correlation is significant at 99% confidence interval level. If you have a 1 star mark like this, right? If you have a 1 star mark, it indicates that your correlation is significant at 95% confidence level. Okay, so likewise, you can make sure that whether you are having statistically significant correlation between your variables. But remember, this correlation doesn't indicate that we are having statistical significant relationship, right? So we cannot say that ECB going to be changed as a result of NE change, right? Even though we are having statistical significant correlation, we cannot say that ECB is going to be changed as a result of changes in NE. Right? Metana statistical significant correlation එක තිබ්බ පමණින් අපිට කියන්න බෑ dependent variable එක වෙනස් වෙනවා කියලා independent variable එක වෙනස් වීම බත. Because remember, in association, in correlation, right? In correlation, we only measure the association. Okay, we cannot measure, not measure the relationship. ඒක හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න. ගොඩක් ළමයි නැත්තම් correlation එක විතරක් බලලා hypothesis support කරන්න ඕන නැත්තව කියලා කියනවා. Right? If your hypothesis is built on to test the effect or test the impact or test the influence of dependent variables through the independent variables, you have to run the multiple regression analysis or regression analysis. Okay, so that is the way you are doing the correlation analysis, right? So in this way, again, you have to find out the another important point, right? Look at this correlation coefficient, right? You have to check this correlation coefficient one by one and make sure that none of the correlation coefficient is greater than 0.85, right? You have to be make sure that none of the correlation coefficient should be correlation coefficient greater than 0.85, right? ඒක හොඳට check කරන්න හැම correlation coefficient එකක්ම you have to check, right? This correlation coefficient you have to check. This is what we call correlation coefficient, right? This is what we call correlation coefficient. You have to check all the things and make sure that whether your correlation coefficient are lesser than 0.85. Why I say so? If any of the correlation coefficient, if any of the correlation coefficient is greater than 0.85, then we are experiencing multicollinearity issue. That means your two variables are going to be highly correlated, right? Your two variables are going to be highly correlated if you are having more than 0.85 correlation coefficient, right? හදිසියවත් මේ correlation coefficient එක එකක් හරි variable දෙකක් අතර මේ value එක 0.85ට වැඩි වුණොත් අපිට එනවා පොඩි issue එකක්. අපි ඒ issue එකට කියනවා multicollinearity issue කියලා. ඒ කියන්නේ variable දෙක අතර තියෙන සහසම්බන්ධතාවය ඕනටත් වඩා වැඩි. right? එහෙම වුණාම ඒක අපේ analysis එකට issue එකක්. right? If it is so, if we have that kind of multicollinearity issue, we have to remove one variable from our conceptual framework. එහෙම වුණොත් අපිට ඒක ඒ variable එකක් අයින් කරන්න සිද්ධ වෙනවා. right? Therefore, that's why we always encouraging to follow literature review and take the concept or take the variables out of the literature review and get the measurement items from the literature review, because they already tested, right? They already tested. Then the raising of the multicollinearity issue is very minimum if you are following that literature in a very very efficient way. එකයි අපි හැමලේම ස්ටුඩන්ට්ස්ලාට කියන්නේ පුළුවන් තරම් ලිටරචර් රිවිව් වලත් එක්ක යන්න, පුළුවන් තරම් conceptual framework develop කරද්දී ලිටරචර් රිවිව් බේස් කරගෙන develop කරන්න, measurement items ගනිද්දී පුළුවන් තරම් අනිත් අය develop කරපු measurement items ගන්න කියලා කියන්නේ මෙන්න මේ වගේ multicollinearity issues අඩු කරගන්න. right? So then you have to make sure that whether that issue is also there, right? So you can include this correlation analysis in your study, and you can find out whether your variables are significantly associated with each other. And if the variables are significantly associated, so then it gives us a green light that yes, we have opportunity to do the regression analysis. Now, if you see that ECB have a dependent variable, ECB can have a dependent, so we can identify that one independent variable is statistically associated. This one is also statistically associated. This one is also statistically associated. But unfortunately, these two, when they are statistically associated, sorry, I'm really sorry. This one is also there, right? This one also statistically associated with the negative way. Now you can see the negative relationship, negative association is there, right? So it gives us a green light that yes, we can do the regression analysis because there are some statistical significant correlation in between these variables. Okay, so then we can move into the regression analysis, right? So before moving to the regression analysis, as I promised you, I will show you how to calculate the mean values using the our data set, right? Now, once you are complete with your regression factor analysis, now you know what are the measurement items that can be included into your variables. Then, the factor analysis කරලා ඉවරනාට පස්සේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවනේ කොයි measurement items එකද ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ variable එක තුල තියෙන්නේ කියලා, right? So then you noted it down, right? Now for an example, for this I think first one, I have this 3. Last one is invalid, therefore I have to remove it from my factor analysis, right? So in order to measure my first independent variable, I have now these 3 measurement items, right? Based on these 3 measurement items, this EXE mean value is going to be calculated. May factor calculate measurement items tune. Now I want to make sure that what is the mean value of this first independent variable. So මේ තුනේ එකතුවෙන් එන mean value එක මොකක්ද කියලා මට බලා ගන්න ඕනේ, right? So you can do it using in here. You can go to transport, right? You can go to transform and go to the compute variable, right? Go to compute variable. In here you can give the name for your variable, and remember you cannot keep space in here also, right? Here I put mean, what is that variable? EX, mean EX, right? Mean EX. Now I'm going to give you some additional things that you can express that, what is the extent of this independent variable. I will let you know how to do it, right? So then you can do the length name in here for a label, but it's not necessary. And keep here, you cannot keep the spaces. Then come into this function group, right? Under the function group, you can find out, there is a thing called statistical, right? So if you click this statistical, you can see the function and special variables are appeared in the bottom of the page, bottom of the table. Then you can click the mean in here, right? You have several functions, but in my case, I need only mean. Therefore, I click the mean, and if you double click it, you can see that mean is going to appear in numeric expression table, right? I will do it again. Right here, I put the name mean EX, right? And then I go into the function group and click the statistical function. Then you can appear several statistical function in here. Among them, please double click mean. Double-click the mean function. Then it appear in here. Now the SPSS asks from us what kind of measurement items you need to get the mean. Then අපෙන් අහනවා කොයි measurement items ටිකේද mean එක ඔයාලට ඕනේ, right? So you can remove this within brackets question marks, මේ අර question mark ටික මකන්න. Then you select your valid measurement items for a first independent variable, right? You can click it and then use this arrow, then select the first one. I do it again, right? Click the first one and choose this one, right? Then put a comma. That means you need to give us a command that this is a separate variables, right? Then I select second one, put it in here, press comma, and I select third one, put it in here, and I only have 3 measurement items for my first independent variable because EX4 is invalid. So then I have only 3 measurement items. Then I tick OK, right? For the last one, don't insert the comma. අන්තිමකට comma එක දාන්න එපා. Right, that is a bracket close. Then click OK, right? If you go back to your measurement, your data set, at the end, you will see the mean of your calculation, right? So this indicates that, right, what is the average extension level of your respondents regarding independent variable, first independent variable. Right? Let's do it the second one also. I go into this transform and first I show you the second one. Right? Second one is the agreeableness. I believe that AG3 is removed from the factor analysis. AG3 can item remove now. So I have another 3 variable measurement items for my second independent variable. I do it again in here. I'm going to transform, compute variable. Right now I need to change the variable name. I think it is AG. I'm not sure. Let's see. Yes, AG. Now mean AG. Now you don't need to do anything in here. Just remove that variables. Measurement items. Then click your relevant items in here. AG1. AG2. And AG3 is invalid. So I have only AG4. So I click it and then press OK. Right? If you go back to your data set, now you can see at the end, my second independent variable's mean value also calculated. Now you might have a question, what is the difference between this one and this one? Now remember, this is coming with your factor loadings. And this is coming with your absolute value that the respondent is given here. මේකේ එන්නේ මේ respondents ලා දීලා තියෙන values තුන mean එක තමයි මෙතනට එන්නේ. Remember this, right? But in here AG average mean, this is the mean value that we calculate through the factor loadings. මේ අපිට එන්නේ අර factor loading එකේ විදිය. Right? It doesn't make any differences, right? But if you want to make sure that what is the extent of your respondents responses regarding different personality traits. අපි අර සාමාන්‍යයෙන් බලනවානේ කොච්චර දුරට අපි දීලා තිබ්බේවත් එක්ක ඇග්‍රි වෙලාද. මේ කොච්චර දුරට මේ කට්ටිය මේකත් එක්ක ඩිස්ඇග්‍රි වෙලාද කියලා අපිට බලන්න නම් අපිට වෙනවා අපේ respondents ලගේ absolute value වල mean එක calculate කරන්න. Right? So that is why we are calculating in here. Right? So if you want to know this average, this mean EX or this independent variables overall average, overall mean value, you can check this one, right? You can go to analyze, then go to descriptive statistic, then you can go to the descriptives, right? Analyze, descriptive statistic, descriptives, right? Then I select our lastly calculated two variables, mean values. I put it in here. So option, you know already, it's getting mean, standard deviation, everything is there. Right? Just click OK. Okay, now see the result. Now you can see the result here. It says the mean value of the extraversion, I think that is the first independent variable, is 3.8. Right? So mean neka extraversion neke, mean of extraversion is now equal 3.89, right? 3.89, that is this value. Right, and its standard deviation is also getting 0.64 and it is less than 1. That is also indicate that our values are okay. අපි දන්නවනේ standard deviation එක කියලා කියන්නේ mean එකත් එක්ක අපේ තියෙන absolute value කොච්චර වෙනස් වෙන එකද කියලා. right? ඒ standard deviation එක එකට වඩා අඩුයි කියලා කියන්නේ යම්කිසි සැලකිය යුතු මට්ටමක්. ඒක හොඳ මට්ටමක්. ඒ කියන්නේ අපේ respondents ලගේ responses යම්කිසි එක විදියකට තියෙනවා averagely ගත්තොත් හොඳයි කියන தත්ත්වය තමයි එකෙන් පෙන්නන්නේ. Right? But the standard deviation greater than 1, so that indicate that there are some deviation in the mean values as well as our actual values. Right? Therefore, always using that factors. So what is this mean 3.89 indicate to you regarding first independent variable? So that indicate that majority of your respondents are responding for the measurement items as agree. Then 3.8 කියලා කියන්නේ 4ට කිට්ටුයිනේ. එතකොට 1 to 5 scale එකේ 4 කියලා කියන්නේ agree කියන එක. Isn't it? 4 කියන්නේ agree කියන එක. So then majority of your respondents are agree with your statement. Right? So then what you can say? So you can make a conclusion based on this mean value. You can say that the majority of the respondents in this study are satisfied with the what is this variable extraversion personality trait. Or we can say the majority of our respondents in the sample shows the positive sign of extraversion personality trait. කියන්නේ ඒක 3.8 කියලා කියන්නේ 4ට කිට්ටු වෙනවා කියලා කියන්නේ අපි දීපු ස්ටේට්මන්ට් එක්ක ගොඩක් වෙලාට ඇග්‍රි වෙලා අපේ respondents ලා. ඒ ඇග්‍රි වෙනවා කියලා කියන්නේ එයාගේ personality trait එක තියෙනවා කියන එකනේ. So agree mean the agree to the statement mean they are having that kind of personality trait. Right? So then you can make a conclusion that the majority or you can say in the sample, the majority of the respondents show positive sign of extraversion personality trait. Or it can say the majority of the respondents agree with they are having the extraversion personality trait. Okay, so that is the way you can express the mean value of your independent and dependent variable. Right? And also other one agree, I don't know what is this agreeableness or something, right? So it is mean value is 4.2. Right? It is also higher than this one. Right? So it again show the positive sign of that particular personality trait. Right? And if you calculate the dependent variable also, right? අපි මේකේ dependent එකත් calculate කරමු. We going to transform, right? I'm not sure what are the measurement items in ECB, but අපි තල වශයෙන් ගමුකෝ. ECB, here I'm putting let's say item අපි item පහක් විතර දාමුකෝ. So ECB I put 1, right? I'm not sure what are the things included after the factor analysis, right? So therefore please excuse for that mistake if I do it, right? For your understanding purpose only I include 5 items, right? මම නිකන් දානවා 5. Then I press okay, right? And then I calculate descriptive statistic, descriptive, right? And I'm going with mean ECB also, and then click OK. Now you can see, right? Now you can see in the mean ECB, the mean එක බලන්න, mean value is getting 4.04, right? So mean it's getting for ECB, mean for ECB equal 4.04, right? 4.0. That means for mean what? So majority of our respondents are agree with their behavior of environmental responsibility. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි දීලා තියෙන ප්‍රකාශ වලින් ගොඩක් අය මේකට agree වෙලා. ඒක අපේ mean එක මේ ගන්නට එන්නේ. Right? ඒතකොට ඒකෙන් පෙන්නන්නේ මොකද්ද? The majority of our undergraduates are behaving responsibly with the environmental protecting way. يعني අපි ගත්ත sample එකේ ගොඩක් අය environmental protection එක විදිහට responsible විදිහට තමයි වැඩ කරන්නේ. So you can give that conclusion based on this mean value of your dependent variable. So therefore it is important for you to calculate those mean values, right, using this transform function, right? So I believe that you understand what we are saying in here, right? So you can see the difference in these two and in this tree as well as this, right? So may mean ECB එකයි මේ ECB එකයි බලමු ඔකලා දන්නවා අහසට පොළොව වගේ වෙනස්, right? It's completely different, but this ECB mean ECB or this average is calculated based on these absolute values, these absolute values, right? මම මේ පහනේ ගත්තේ these absolute values, but remember this one is calculated based on that factor loadings, right? For regression analysis this one is okay, right? This for the regression this one is okay, even though we can use this kind of calculation, we can use that one. මේකත් අපිට ගන්න පුළුවන්, right? It's up to you, right? It doesn't matter whether you are using this form, right? අපිට අපි correlation එක calculate කරද්දිත් මේක use කරන්න පුළුවන්, right? Now for an example you can go with the correlation analysis. I go with the correlation, I remove these trees, right? I can use this tree also, right? Now you can see the result. අපිට ඒකත් ගන්න පුළුවන්, right? So you can see the result also, right? Not that much of difference you can see. ලොකු වෙනසක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ, right? ඒක factor loading එක ගත්තා කියලා mean එක අරගෙන calculate කරා කියලා අපිට ලොකු වෙනසක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Okay? So then either you can go with the this mean value calculation, or it is better you can perform the regression analysis using these factors, factor loadings average, right? If you want to give us some kind of expression regarding how far your respondents are agree with your statement and so on, you can go with this calculation, right? ඒ හින්දා දෙකෙන් ඕන එකකට යන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි අපි correlation එක සහ regression එක run කරද්දි මෙන්න මේ factor loading එකෙන් ගත්ත එකත් එක්ක යනවා නම් තමයි වඩා හොඳ, because it is more accurate for us. Okay, right? I feel that you understand what is the difference between these two calculations, right? Now we already complete the correlation analysis. Then let's move into the regression analysis. It's very simple, right? Now why we need to do the regression analysis? Let's see, let's make it first, right? For the regression analysis, what we are trying to do is we try to measure, or we try to test the relationship or effect between independent variables and dependent variable. Okay, so that is the thing we are going to do it. Right, let's do it. Now what we are trying to do, we're trying to find out what is the relationship between personality traits and environmental citizenship behavior. Or we can find out what is the influence, or what is the influence of personality traits on environmental citizenship behavior. Right, how to do it? Let's do. Analyze. Here you can see the regression. Right, analyze, go to the regression, go to the linear. Right, I already do it, then I reset. Right, I show it, analyze, regression, linear. Okay, then select your dependent variable. Right, in my case I am going with the factor loadings one. Right, or else you can go with your mean calculation. Right, it's up to you. I'm going to the ECP factor loading calculation, then I put it into the dependent list. Okay, now in here independent, I have 5 variables, 5 independent variables. Right, so you can do it in here, 5 independent variables to this independent box. Right, here also you can go with your mean calculation of independent variable. Make a venuata mean calculation එක දාන්නත් පුළුවන්. Right, ඔයගොල්ලෝ පහෙම calculate කරලා තිබ්බනම් ඒ ටික දාන්න පුළුවන්. So in my case I don't calculate it, so I cannot go for that. Therefore I'm going with my factor loadings calculation. Right, so that is a simple method. Then go with this statistic button. Right, my statistic කියන එකට යන්න. Right, here you can go with model fit. It's already calculated. Then go with this collinearity diagnosis, because these are some standard we need to check with your data set whether it is experiencing with multicollinearity issue. Right, check the collinearity diagnostic and then check the Durbin-Watson command. Right, මේවා මේ අර අපි සාමාන්‍ය regression එක run කරද්දි බලන standard statistics ටික. Right, you don't need to worry about those things, just tick it. Then continue. Right, then continue, then press OK. Right, so go to your output window and now see what are the results. Right, even in your managerial economics subject, you might be learned about the regression analysis, the R-square value, its significant value, as well as some kind of individual coefficient values. Right, now let's see how we interpret the result. Okay, now this is the we call model summary. Now it says how far your model is representing well in your analysis. Right, how far your model is representing well in your analysis. So what is this R-square mean? Now මම එකින් එක කියන්නේ නැහැ, මේක ඔබව මේ managerial economics වල ඔයගොල්ලෝ කතා කරලා. R-square mean what? So R-square indicate that how far the changes in your dependent variable going to be represented by your independent variables. කියන්නේ dependent variable එකේ වෙනස් වීම වලින් කොපමණ ප්‍රතිශතයක් ඔයාගේ independent variables represent කරනවද කියන එක තමයි මේ R-square value එකෙන් පෙන්නන්නේ. Right, so R-square value indicate that extent of the changes occurring in the dependent variable as a result of the changes happening in independent variables. Right, so in here R-square value indicate that, right, R-square value indicate that, what is that? R-square value indicate that 0.226. So what is this 0.226 indicate? දශම 2.2 මොකද පෙන්නන්නේ? Right, that means 22.6% changes happening in dependent variable is it's going to be represented by your independent variables. يعني dependent variable එකේ වෙනස්කම් වලින් 22.5ක් 22.6ක්ම represent කරනවා independent variables තුලින්. Right, so the standard value of this kind of R-square value in the social sciences research is this R-square value least need to have 0.3. Right, at least need to have 0.3. Why? So it indicates that 30% of the changes happening in dependent variable is represented by independent variables. Right? To be presented, it should be presented by independent variable. අටුම තරමේ 130කවත් වෙනසක් independent variable එකේ පෙන්눔 කරන්න ඕනේ dependent variable එකේ වෙනස් කරේ 130ක්වත් අටුම තරමේ represent කරන්න ඕනේ independent variables තුලින්. Right? But in this case, this model is not good, but still it is statistically significant. That's the main thing. Right? But remember, if the model is to have, we need to have some kind of very effective impact to the society or effective impact to your existing knowledge, it has to be have at least R square value 0.3. Okay, so the Durbin-Watson indicate that the issue of the multi-coordinate issues. So if the Durbin-Watson value less than 2 indicate that there is no multi-coordinate issue. මේ Durbin-Watson value එක සාමාන්‍ය 1.5 දෙකක් අතර නම් තියෙන්නේ ඒකෙන් represent වෙනවා multi-coordinate issue එකක් මෙතන ඉන්නේ නැහැ කියන එක. Right? So then we move into the next one, that is the ANOVA table. So what is that ANOVA? So ANOVA table indicate that whether your model is statistically significant or not. Right? So ANOVA table represent that your model statistical significant. Model එකේ statistical significant එක තමයි මේ ANOVA එකෙන් පෙන්නන්නේ. So it indicate that the statistical significant. If the sig value less than 0.05, we can say that model is statistically significant. Model is statistically significant. Right? Model is statistically significant. Okay, the model is okay. Though the R square value is less, the model is okay. Right. Then go back to the last one, last analysis, that is the coefficient value. So what is this coefficient value? So this coefficient value indicates that what are the independent variables influences to the dependent variable and how far they are statistically significant. මේ coefficient table එකෙන් පෙන්නන්නේ අපේ දැන් තියෙන independent variable පහක්. How far these independent variables are influenced to the dependent variable and what are their significant values. Right? So that is represented by this coefficient table. Right? So this coefficient table, coefficient table, it indicates that your independent variables influence and its significance. Right? So let's first see whether the significant is there or not. Right? Let's see whether the significant there is or not. Right. Now how we can make sure that there is significant? Because this p value or sig value has to be less than 0.05. Now you can see this value is statistically significant and the fourth one also statistically significant. Right? Why? Because sig value is less than 0.05. Therefore, we can see that NE is a statistically significant influence to the dependent variable and OP has the statistical significant influence to the dependent variable as well as EX have a statistical significant influence to the dependent variable. Right? But unfortunately, agreeableness, that means AG doesn't have a statistical significant influence as well as CO doesn't have a statistical significant influence towards dependent variable. So that's the thing we can make sure with the coefficient table. Right? So among the statistically significant influences factors, which factor gives the highest influence? මේ දැන් අපිට statistical significant එක තුනක් තියෙනවානේ. Right? ඒකෙන් කවුද වැඩිම influence එක දෙන්නේ? ඒකෙන් වැඩිම influence එක දෙන්නේ this 0.9291, that means EX personality trait, that means extraversion, right? Extraversion personality traits has the highest influence over environmental citizenship behavior of undergraduate of the selected sample. Right? අපි select කරපු area එක තුල ඉන්න respondents ලගෙන් environmental citizenship behavior එකට විශාල දායකත්වයක් දෙන්නේ extraversion කියන personality trait එක. Then next it's going to be NE and then it's going to be OP. Right? So this is the way we are checking with the regression analysis. Right? So you can check your hypothesis. Right? Now I have 5 hypotheses. Right? Influence of NE to the ECB is the first one. Influence to the OP to the ECB is my second one. Influence to the AG to ECB is the third one. Likewise, I have 5 hypotheses. So a part of 5 hypotheses, I have 3 hypotheses supported with my data. The hypothesis pahaking data support karnawa, so I can accept those hypotheses. We cannot say accepted. We can say data is supported to the hypothesis 1, hypothesis 2, and hypothesis 4. Right? Unfortunately, hypothesis 3 and hypothesis 5 data is not supported. Right? අපි හැමෙලෙම කියන්නේ accept or reject කියලා. We කියන්නේ data supported or not supported. Right? So this is the way you can run the regression analysis. Right? Is it difficult? No, it's very simple. And we can easily run this regression analysis. Okay? Right. Now you might be having some issue whether regression can be run with this kind of measurement items or this kind of Likert scale type data. Right? Then ape meke tibbe Likert scale data ne. Right? 1 to 5 scale data thamai okkoma tibbe. Sorry. Okay. So I have 1 to 5 data. Right? Now you might have a question whether is it necessary to have all the variables measured through Likert scale to run the regression analysis? No, it is not. Right? Let's look at the next data set. අපි දැන් බලමු තව data set එකක් තියෙනවා මන් ළඟ. Let's look at that one. Okay, I think you can now see it. Right? Now this data set is very simple one. And this is a very simple one. It's measuring the satisfaction of the employees based on different variables, right? The timeliness, expertise, thoroughness, objectivity, readability, reliability, their design, this is about the satisfaction of the particular goods. Customer satisfaction regarding some particular goods, right? They are having several independent variables, right? Like the timely providing and expertise, thoroughness, objectivity, readability, reliability, design, comprehensiveness, and practical usability. Likewise, the particular goods satisfaction, this data set going to be test, right? Then they are having some sample profile data also, gender, age, education level, and professions, etc. Okay, so then let's look at this data view. Right, they are going to pay no data view bigger. Right, it has I don't know how many data. It's I think very large data set. Right, you can see there are 637 data responses in this data set. Right. Now here this company want to find out how far customers are satisfied with the different feature of this product. My product wala different features anuwa kochchara dura satisfy wenawada කියන එක. Right? So let's run. Now this is our dependent variable. I go back to here. This is our dependent variable and these are the independent variables. මෙතන දින 10ක්, right? So this one also measuring through the Likert scale, but there is no measurement item for each variable. This is the variable. Make that variable එක. Right? ඒක මැනලා තියෙන මේකේ. Okay? So then this variable is some kind of ordinal scale data. Right? මේක මැනලා තියෙන්නේ දීලා තියෙන මොකක් හරි timeliness එකකින් අපි කියනවා very bad, good, very good, no answer. Something like that. Right? If you have this kind of data, right? සමහරවල් හිතන්නේ variable එකම ඉන්න measurement item 4-5ක් අපි තියෙන්න ඕනේ. ඊට පස්සේ ඒ අනුව තමයි regression run කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා. Right? Now like our previous example මේකේ වගේ. Now in order to measure one variable I have this kind of 4 measurement items. Right? But in this case, our new data set, we don't have that kind of measurement items. We only measure the variables using one item. That also we can do, right? Okay, then let's see how we can do things. The same way we can do with the previous regression, right? Go to analyze, right? Go to analyze and go with the regression and linear. Okay, you can see I have already do it. So here you can select the satisfaction in here. Just put it, right? Then select your independent variables, right? I think these all the things are here. Then click OK. Put into the thing and go to the statistic. You can go with the coordinate and Durbin-Knudsen. Click OK and then click OK. Right? So where is my output? Here. Now you can see the output, right? So you can see the model summary. So its R-square value is 0.397. That means at least 40% of the variation in your satisfaction, that is dependent variable, represented by these independent variables, right? So then the model is significant, and model is significant. Then check the correlation, your coefficient values, which are significant. This one is significant. This one significant. This one significant. This one also. This one also. This one. This one, and this one. Right? Comprehensiveness is only the insignificant influencing factor to the satisfaction. All other values are statistically significant. Right? And I forgot to tell you something about the VIF value in the previous one. Right? So in order to make sure that your data set is free of multicollinearity issue, right? This VIF value has to be less than 5. Right? Then we can say there is a no multicollinearity issue. Right? If you remember our correlation analysis also, we check this one. Here also we can recheck. Because if the correlation between two variables are greater than 0.85, then there is a multicollinearity issue. In here also, if the VIF values are greater than 5, then we are having multicollinearity issue. But in our case, all the VIF values are less than 5. So then our data set is free of multicollinearity issue. Our variables are free of multicollinearity issues. Right? That's the way we can check different ways. Right? So this is the way you can do the regression in the different data sets. Okay. So I think now you can understand what is the regression and how we can perform the regression analysis in a proper way. Right? Then I'm going with the next one, the mean comparison. Right? So mean comparison. Okay. Let's go back to our previous example, our discussion example. Now you can see we are having different demographic factors, right? Like gender, degree program. Here I'm taking the degree program into numbers, right? Because these are letters. Therefore, I converted into numbers using this transform form, right? You can do it by yourself also. And I have faculty, job earlier, job now, something like that, right? Now, if you want to make sure that, if you want to check whether the ECB, that means environmental citizenship behavior, is going to be changed or going to be differ between male and female. අපිටම ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඔබ්ජෙක්ටිව් එකක් නිකන් දාලා තියෙනවා environmental citizenship behavior එක undergraduates ලාගේ අතර, ඒ කියන්නේ ගෑනු සහ පිරිමි කියන undergraduates ලා අතර වෙනසක් තියෙනවද නැද්ද කියන එක බලන එක. Alright? Now, this is not a moderating factor, right? We will discuss it later. Now, remember, you want to check whether environmental citizenship behavior going to be changed in between male and female. The moderating එක අපි කියන්නේ මේ independent එක dependent එකට සම්බන්ධ වෙද්දී gender එක සම්බන්ධ වෙන එකනේ. That is moderating. But in here what I'm telling is we want to make sure that whether this ECB or environmental citizenship behavior is going to be changed or going to be differ based on male and female of the undergraduate. ගෑනු කට්ටියද වැඩි environmental citizenship behavior එක තියෙන්නේ පිරිමි undergraduates ලා තියෙනවා. ඕක තමයි අපිට බලන්න ඕන. Right? So in order to make that kind of things, please make sure that your sample representing adequate portion in between male and female. right? If you check with one in here, descriptive frequency, and I'm going with the gender and click OK. And here I can see I have 378 female students and 206 male students. That means some kind of adequate portions to make sure the difference between male and female with regarding to the ECB. ඒ වගේ අපේ මේ sample එකේ හොඳ portion එකක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ දෙපැත්තට. එහෙම නැතුව අපිට check කරන්න බෑ difference එක. right? අපි හිතමුකෝ female 400ක් ඉඳලා male 100ක් ඉන්නවා කියලා අපේ data set එකේ. So then we cannot do that kind of mean comparison. right? ඒ වගේ කරන්න බෑ. ඒ වගේ mean comparison කරන්න අඩුම තරමේ මේ portion එක අඩුම තරමේ 145 60 ඒ වගේ presentation එකකවත් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. right? Now this is somewhat okay, but it's not perfect. But in our context, we know that female population is higher, right? So now let's see whether environmental citizenship behavior going to be changed or it is differ between male and female. How to do it? Now, if you go to this, analyze and compare means, if you go to this analyze, compare means, you can see different measurement tools here, right? So it says one sample t-test, independent sample t-test, paired sample t-test, and one-way ANOVA, right? So one sample t-test indicates that if you give exact value, right? අපි කියනවා undergraduates like environmental citizenship behavior එකේ value එක 4යි. කියලා අපි කියනවා, right? We set the value, right? Then we check it whether our assumption is correct or wrong, right? So if you check this one, right, one sample t-test, I'm going with that, right? So I select my ECB, right? I'm going with this one because I used that 4 in here. Here, right here, I put my value 4, test value 4. That means I say the mean value of environmental citizenship behavior of this selected sample is 4, right? Then I click OK. I will get the result. Right? So what is the result mean? Right? So mean value I get it at 4.04. Right? My test value is 4. Right? So the sig value indicate that in here, the sig value indicate that, right, it is greater than 0.05. Right? It's greater than 0.05. So then my hypothesis is not supported. Why? Because normally in SPSS, hypothesis is going to be supported when sig value less than 0.05. අපි sig value එක 0.05 වුණාම තමයි අපිට hypothesis එකක් support වෙන්නේ. Right? මේ අපේ statistic වල. But in this case, right? In this case, our sig value is greater than 0.05. Right? So assuming that our H1 we say the mean of environmental citizenship behavior of undergraduates is 4. අපි කියනවා mean එක ECB එක undergraduates ලගේ 4. Right? Mean of is 4. But the sig value we are getting is equal 0.122. That means we have to reject our H1. That means their data is not supported to accept our H1. Therefore, we have to data not support to accept H1. Right? So then what would be the conclusion? The mean of ECB of undergraduates is not 4.0. Right? This is the test of one sample t-test. Right? This is a test of one sample t-test. Right? We gave the absolute value and test. Now remember, the sig value is the cutoff point. If sig value is less than 0.05, we can accept our hypothesis. But if the sig value is less than 0, greater than 0.05, there is no evidence to support our H1, our hypothesis. Okay, so that's the first thing. Right. Then move into the next one, that is what we are discussing, that we call independent sample t-test. So what is this independent sample t-test? So independent sample t-test means we are checking the difference between two groups with regarding to our variable. Likewise, we want to make sure that whether environmental citizenship behavior is going to be changed with regarding to the gender of our sample. Right? So let's check. Go with the ECB, I put it, right? Here you need to put the defining group. What is your group? So my group is gender, right? Here I select the gender, right? Now you are asking, please define your group, because SPSS doesn't know whether what are our groups, right? So we need to define groups. And remember, independent sample t-test, we can only check that kind of difference if our group representing two categories, like gender, male and female. But unfortunately, if we have a other category in the gender, we cannot use independent sample t-test. මතක තියාගන්න independent sample t-test එක use කරන්න පුළුවන් අපේ group එක තුල. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි ඔය test කරන group එක තුල ඉන්නේ categories දෙකයි නම් විතරයි. right? දෙකකට වඩාත් වැඩි නම් අපිට යන්න වෙනවා ANOVA test එකකට. Right? We will do it later. Now our gender representing 2, therefore I make it as a male first group. My මෙතන හැබැයි හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න ඔයා define data set එකේ define කරලා තියෙන විදිහට දෙන්න ඕනේ. Male and here female. Right? අපි දැන් මේක මම පොඩි උදාහරණයක් ගන්නවා. මම මේක දෙක කියලා දානවා. Right? Okay, go and check okay. Right? What is the result? What is the result? Because no result, because my defining group there is no 1 and 2. මගේ 1 2 කියලා group එකක් නැහැනේ gender එකේ. Right? If you remember my data set, I have male and female. ඒක හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න. අපි දෙයක් දෙනකොට rename කරනකොට අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම මේ දීපු විදිහටම අර group define කරන්න ඕනේ. Right? I'm going with again. Right? Defining group. Now I change it. Male and female. Continue. Now press OK. Now you can see the result. Right? What you can see. What you can see. Now these are the differences in our mean values of the male and female regarding the environmental citizenship behavior. I am using the factor loading ones. Right? Now don't worry about that. Look at this sig value. Right? Is it less than 0.05? No, it is greater than 0.05. Then what is your conclusion? Since sig value now greater than 0.05, then what is your conclusion? There is no difference in environmental citizenship behavior with respect to the gender of undergraduates in the study. ඒ කියන්නේ gender එකට අනුව බලද්දී environmental citizenship behavior එකේ වෙනසක් අපිට පේන්නේ නැහැ. يعني males ලව females ලගෙන් කවුද වැඩියෙන්ම environmental citizenship behavior කියන එකේ conclude කරන්න අපිට බෑ. Right? Because sig value is greater than 0.05. Right? So likewise you can check with that. And the other one we can do is, let's go back to our data set. I'm not sure whether we have to do the ANOVA one. Right? Yes, we can go with the degree program. Right? I have 4 types of degree program. Now remember, I have 4 types of degree program. Now I want to make sure that whether undergraduates environmental citizenship behavior going to be differ with regarding to their degree parts. කියන්නේ first year undergraduates ලා වැඩිපුර environmental citizenship behavior එකක් තියනවාද? Final years ලගේද වැඩිපුර තියෙන්නේ. Right? Now how many categories are there? There are 4 categories. Now I cannot use this independent sample t-test. Why? Because it's more than 2. Right? If your grouping category has more than 2 subcategories, you have to go with one-way ANOVA. Right? You have to go with analyze, compare mean, one-way ANOVA. Then select the one-way ANOVA. Here I'm going with the ECB again. Where is that? Yes. You can select other variables also, right? Mama නිකන් කිව්වේ. Our environmental citizenship behavior can magi no point taken, so I can take. But you can see whether the personality traits also differ between male and female, right? So check it. So my factor is the new degree. Here, remember, we cannot use the wording form for the categorization. Therefore, you have to use the numbers for the categorization. Hamelema numbers use karane me categories karnakota, right? Me wording වලින් තිබුණොත් මේක categorize කරන්න දෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒකයි මම මේක වෙනස් කරේ මේ new degree දීලා. Right? So go with here. Right? And then I select the factor. You don't need to change anything, right? Make I rename karana na, just click OK. Right? All right. Let's go to the result. Now you can see what you can see. What you can see, the sig value. Now sig value is greater than 0.05 or less than 0.05. Now it is less than 0.05. What does that mean? Now sig value is less than 0.05. What do you mean by that? So now what you can conclude? You can conclude that there is a significant difference in ECB with regard to degree part of the undergraduates in the study. You see, now we can see there is a statistical significant differences of ECB with regard to the degree part. Right? Now, how can we see which part having the highest ECB and which part having the lowest? Because the result doesn't indicate like this. Right? So you have to do one additional thing. First, we need to check the significant differences there. If it is the significant differences, if there are significant differences, then we are going back to this one, right? One way or another, we are going back, right? Then you select in here, right? Select in here the post hoc. Right? මෙතන තේරෙනවනේ post hoc කියලා command එක. ආයි එතනටම ගිහිල්ලා මේ post hoc command එක select කරන්න ඕනේ. Right? You click it. Now you have several post hoc analysis, post hoc tests, right? You can tick Turkey, that is most common one, right? And I don't have knowledge about other things. That's truly I have to say the Turkey is the most commonly used one. Right? Then click continue and press OK. Okay, come back to your output window. Now you can see the result is significant in here. Now in here you can check whether which one having the highest ECB and which one has the lowest. Right? Now it compare here. Make that compare karna. මොකද්ද මේ compare කරන්නේ? Degree part 1 with degree part 2. Right? Check the difference. Check the mean value difference. Right? So degree part 1 with degree part 2, we get the minus value. 1 එක 2 එකත් එක්ක compare කරනකොට minus වෙන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? 2 එකේ mean value එක වැඩිනේ. Isn't it? එකෙන් දෙකක් අඩු කරාම minus වෙනවා නම් ඒ කියන්නේ දෙකේ අගේ වැඩිනේ. Even those are mathematics, right? Not the research methodology. Then compare with 1 to 3. What are you getting? Positive value. What is the positive value mean? So the first degree part 1 mean value is higher for ECB. Then compare with 1 to 4. We get a negative value. What does it mean? The degree part 4 ECB value is higher than degree part 1. Right? So then compare here. Check degree part 4 to 1, we get the positive value. We get the positive value. Degree part 4 to 2, we get the negative value. That means degree part 2 is high. Degree part 4 to degree part 3, we get the positive value. That means degree part 4 is high. Then come into the degree part 2. That's the most important part. Why? All are getting positive values. Positive values. Among the degree parts, degree part 2 students' environmental citizenship behavior is higher. And degree part එක සාපේක්ෂව බලද්දී degree part 2 එකේ environmental citizenship behavior එක වැඩි. Right? All are positive values. Right? ඒකෙනුත් මෙන්න මේක තමයි statistically significant වෙන්නේ. That means 2 and 3. Right? It doesn't matter because it's already statistically significant, no? So then you can make sure that which degree part are having highest environmental citizenship behavior compared to the other degree parts, right? So likewise, you can make sure with that your mean comparison. Okay, we make sure with the mean comparison, right? So if I go back to your presentation, now we check with this regression analysis, right? We make the independent mean differences. I check with the one sample t-test, independent sample t-test, and paired sample mean if you are going with the experimental type of data. That means you check the data in two different times, right? First you check before the testing, second you test after the testing, right? A paired sample like we use experiment type. So in our cases, we don't have that much of experiences. We are not doing it, right? So one way ANOVA, we are checking with if our categories are having, grouping categories are having more than 2 subgroups, we are going with one way ANOVA, right? So in the right-hand side values, you can see those are the non-parametric test mean differences analysis, right? So if I go back to the data set, I will show you those things. You can go to analyze, right? Here you can see yes, the non-parametric test, you can see, right? Non-parametric test, you can go to the legacy dialogues, right? You can see the same things in here, independent sample test, right? Here also you can go to the ECB. Now here we are assuming that data is not normally distributed. That's why we are going with that part, right? Okay, so go with the why it's not showing the gender. I'm not sure. Right? It's not showing. Let's see why it's happening. And there is a nominal. Yes. So that's the way you can do, but I don't know why it is not showing. Sorry. Yes. Let's see. It's still not showing. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, let's see one thing. ECB, assuming that data is not normal, right? And new degree, we are putting it in here. You can define group. Unfortunately, we cannot define it. Yes, 1 to 4. Let's say like that, right? And go with check. Okay. Here you cannot see any mean differences calculation. Why? Because the data is not normally distributed. Non-parametric test issue. We don't have any mean differences. We only have this mean ranks, right? And this sig value, right? Sig value again, you know. So likewise, previous result also we are getting the same result, right? Degree parts, we are having sig value. Here also we are getting significant value. But we cannot say which degree have highest influence, which degree have highest ECB and which degree part has lowest ECB. And non-parametric issue එක තමයි අපිට තියෙන්නේ. අපිට මේ වගේ ලොකු analysis එකක් කරන්න බෑ parametric test වල වගේ. Right? That's why we are assuming data is normal based on our skewness and courtesies. Then we are going with parametric test, right? But anyway, you can go with the non-parametric test. There are so many testing in here, right? So you can do, right? So the time within the time limited, I cannot say everything in here, right? So you can go with the tested in here, and you can make the trial and error methods by experiencing by yourself and do different type of analysis. Okay, so I believe that you understanding with what we discussed so far regarding regression analysis and mean differences analysis, specifically parametric test. Okay, so next session we will discuss you the mediating and moderating effect analysis. Right.